this splint over here and it's finally out. So the brakes stay on. Hammer time. It's running, the brakes are working. Hello everyone, this is Alex, and today we're addressing the most common issue that I'm constantly having with the KamAZ. And it is the brakes of the KamAZ. Let me show you. And the issue is with the air brake chambers over here. They tend to get stuck, so the brakes stay on, and they also tend to leak air. So this one has already been changed at one point. This one I already changed last weekend, but I did not make a video of it. And of course now what happened is that the two ones in the front are also leaking air. So let's get them changed today. And this is what we're going to need for this job. First of all, we're going to need wrenches and tools. So 24 is that we're going to be using. Also I think it was 27. Then of course we need a hammer. You cannot fix KamAZ with without a hammer. Then the air brake chambers themselves. I have taken one out already, and I also ordered new airlines. And what is interesting is that these air brake chambers, they're made in China, then shipped to Russia, and here I am in Europe putting them on my KamAZ. And what is interesting about them is that they all come with their own set of gloves. So the supplier from China has been very generous of providing me with some gloves. So definitely for this job, when I'm changing the air brake chambers, I think I need to put these gloves on. But now let's get to it. And what's interesting is that they're exactly my size. And here are the patients of today. This one and this one. I already sprayed some bolt loosener on them last night. And let's do that again right now. So what we're going to need to loosen up today is these ones. These ones. The one over here, the splint. And then, of course, on both of them, the same thing. Great. Let's begin with the bolts on the bottom. I'm going to take the camera for a second now. And let me show you. So the air lines are connected over here. And these go straight into the air brake chamber. Now what we're going to loosen up first is the two bolts over here. These ones are probably going to be quite stuck. And then we will need to remove the splint over here. These ones usually also get rusted and very stuck. And what is interesting is that when I was looking for a video online how to do it, then most of them were in Russian, and most of them actually didn't have anything to do with how to change them, but the person would pretty much just sit next to the air brake chamber and show you, remove these ones, and then it's coming off. But this was not very helpful. So today I'm going to show how it's actually done and how I am actually going to do it. So let's begin. These are probably going to be stuck, but not too stuck, I guess. I guess the oil has already done its job. Now the second one, there is no room to put this one on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a wrench like this. This is great. I was expecting them to be much more stuck because the one that I changed last weekend, I couldn't open it that easily as this one opened over here. There you go. That's the first one almost off, and now we just have to take off this splint over here. And then we should be okay. We can disconnect the airlines as well right now. Hopefully they're not too stuck, otherwise yeah, that's fine. Or we can disconnect them from here as well. It doesn't matter. 24. That was much easier than expected. Great. So now all we have to do is get this splint out, and this might be the most difficult part, or it might also be easy. And it's finally out. Great. So now it should just pop off from here. That's one of them off. Now let's get to the second one, and then we're going to install the new ones. And now to the second one. Hammer time. And it's out. I have been blessed with this one. I can pull it out with my fingers. And that's number 2 out. Great. Selge nii valus. Now that we have removed both of the old airbag chambers, it's time to remove the clamps over here, which keep the hoses together. So these we are going to reuse on the new hoses as well. And now Why we have to do that is because this one does not turn around. So how you put it in is first you need an O-ring. Put an O-ring over here, and then when turning these ones in, you have to be very careful because this is aluminum, and if you over tighten it, then the casing will break and there's nothing you can do. In that case, you will just need a new air brake chamber. Okay, so when you're putting on these ones, then you need to check what the height was on this one. So one way is to measure from the top to the bottom what the distance is, but what I'm doing right now is pretty much I'm turning it on the same way as it's looking right here. So you don't have to turn it in too much. And when you come closer, then about this much is what is matching that it was before on the old one. So I think we're good if we leave it this way. Okay, and this is the issue right now. I can connect this part over here, but since it is as we were taking them off, you could also see that it was constantly pushing on it. So right now the issue is that even if I connect this one, then I cannot push this in enough that I could connect these ones. So what I have to do now is what I said earlier, and it is that it's best to open this one over here. I'm going to do that, and then you will see what happens to this part over here. Now, as you can see, I have totally screwed out this one over here. And what happened now is that when this one comes out, then this one over here goes in the same distance. So right now, when I put it over here, I should be able to, first of all, connect the splint. And now when I push this in, I should be able to, yes, as you can see, now I can put on the new nuts over here and just tighten it up, and that's going to be it. It's interesting that they call them nuts. And you have to put the nuts down there, you know. Now the clamp has been tightened, and when you're putting these hoses back, then you have to remember that the one on your closest to you, this one goes on the right, and the one in the back, this one goes in the left. So this one goes on the right, this one goes on the left. And we're done with this one. All we have to do is now screw this one back in, and we're done. And we're done here. With this one, the screw needs to go all the way in. And if it's all the way in, then you're done. And now we have connected all the hoses. This is connected, this is tightened, the top is tightened. We're done over here. And now the same thing is going to happen to the one on the left. And then we have pretty much changed all the brake chambers on the KamAZ. Now we're done here as well. We have tightened these two over here. This one is connected. This one is totally screwed in. With these lines, the one nearest to you goes on the left and the one in the back goes on the right. These ones are tightened. And all we have to do now is fire up the truck and let's see if they work or not. Now all we have to do is fire up the truck. Let's let the air pressure build, and after that we will see if the brake system works or not. Okay, so it seems that both of the air brake chambers are working, but you could hear earlier that there was an air leak. Well, I forgot to tighten one of the air lines, but right now it's okay. The handbrake is off and there are no leaks. So if my brother will now show under the truck, I will show you again how it works. And as you can see, everything is working perfectly now. So let's start up the KamAZ and let's just do a little drive with it. I love it how the KamAZ always blows up so much smoke when you start it up. But now let's let it sit a bit, let's let it warm up and then we'll go. And I'm going to put on the second pair of gloves that I received with the other air brake chamber. These are my driving gloves now. The KamAZ is running, the brakes are working. I think this is the right place to end the video today. So, if you like the video, leave a like, subscribe, comment what you like the most, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.